Imagine for a second that you're living your life as usual, laughing with friends, planning your future, recalling the smell of the breakfast your mum used to make when you were a kid. And then, out of nowhere, it all starts slipping away. Not because you want it to, but because your brain is silently rotting inside your skull and you don't even know it. Sounds like something out of a horror movie, right? Well, here's the truth no one tells you. More than half of people who reach 85 already have signs of Alzheimer's in their brains, and a lot of them don't realize it until it's way too late. And you watching this right now might be on that same path, speeding toward a future where your memories, your identity, even the faces of your own kids turn to dust. But hold on, I'm not here just to bring bad news. I'm someone who's spent years studying brains wrecked by dementia and Alzheimer's, and what I've uncovered will blow your mind. And more importantly, it'll give you the power to escape this nightmare. In this video, you're going to learn the difference between aging gracefully and becoming a prisoner of a brain that betrays you, the silent killers wiping out your memories as we speak, the dumb myths you probably buy into, and most crucially, the secret to shielding your brain from this tragedy. First, you need to get what dementia really is. And no, it's not just getting a little forgetful or misplacing your car keys every now and then. Dementia is your brain screaming, "I give up," as your mental abilities, memory, reasoning, even the ability to recognize the people you love, go down the drain. It's an umbrella term, a catch-all name for a bunch of horrors that can attack your mind. And the king of this nightmare, Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's is the most common cause of age-related dementia, a monster that clogs your brain with toxic protein plaques and tangles until you don't even know who you are anymore. But it's not alone in this grim party. There's Parkinson's disease, which can steal your mind along with causing tremors. Dementia with Lewy bodies, blending hallucinations with confusion. Frontotemporal degeneration, turning calm people into impulsive and aggressive strangers. And even rarer stuff like progressive supranuclear palsy, which sounds like sci-fi but is real and terrifying. And here's the worst part. There's CTE, chronic traumatic encephalopathy, the one that hits athletes like football players or boxers, shredding their brains with every blow to the head. Now here's the gut punch. You could have Alzheimer's, brewing in your brain for 20-30 years before a single symptom shows up. That's right. As you're watching this, an invisible enemy might be growing inside you, and you'll only find out when you're lost in the fog, forgetting your street name or how to tie your shoes. It's scary, I know, but that's the reality, and understanding it is the first step to fighting back. Now that you know what dementia is, let's talk about the silent villains that are, right this very moment, trying to fry your brain. First up on the list is inflammation, and I'm not exaggerating when I say your brain might be on fire, right? Now without you even feeling it. Inflammation is like an out-of-control wildfire in your brain cells, and it's one of the main drivers behind diseases like Alzheimer's and CTE. Anything that irritates your brain, a hit to the head, a toxin, even chronic stress, can spark this flame, and it'll keep burning through your neurons until there's nothing left but ashes. And there's more. The blood vessels in your brain, those tiny little tubes that deliver oxygen to your memories, are another ticking time bomb. If they get damaged, say, from high blood pressure, sky-high cholesterol, or uncontrolled blood sugar, they start leaking like busted pipes. And what happens then? Toxic stuff that's supposed to stay in your bloodstream floods into your brain, pissing everything off and pouring gas on the inflammation fire. Think of it like a security barrier. Your brain has this shield called the blood-brain barrier, so tough it keeps poisons out. But if those vessels get weak, that shield cracks and chaos barges in. What messes up these vessels? Head trauma, obviously, like the hits athletes take, but also everyday stuff. The high blood pressure you ignore, the diabetes you think is under control, even cortisol, that stress hormone that spikes every time you're stuck in traffic or don't sleep right. And what about alcohol? That beer you crack open on the weekend might not directly cause Alzheimer's, but it damages your brain in other ways, making symptoms worse if dementia's already lurking. See what I mean? These are villains you're inviting into your life without even realizing it, and they're laughing while they plot your downfall. But hold up. Before you start thinking it's all doom and gloom, let's tackle the dumb myths you probably believe that could land you right in dementia's grip. First myth: Alzheimer's is just genetics. If it's not in my family, I'm safe. Total bullshit. Sure, genes like APOE4 up your risk, but over 70% of cases are tied to lifestyle, meaning what you do today decides if your brain turns to mush or not. Some people with a family history never get it because they take care of themselves, while others with no relatives affected end up victims just from pure neglect. Second myth: coffee or a little wine protects my brain. If only it were that easy. Coffee might give you a slight focus boost, and resveratrol in red wine gets hyped as a savior, but the studies, inconclusive at best, and overdoing. The booze, like I said, is shooting yourself in the foot. Third myth: dementia's an old person thing. I'm too young to worry. Wake up. Early onset dementia cases before age 65 are on the rise, and CTE has wrecked athletes in their 30s. Even kids playing contact sports might be planting seeds for trouble down the road. These myths are dangerous because they lull you into a false sense of security, thinking it's someone else's problem. But here's the truth: the dementia clock is ticking for everyone, and you're letting it speed up every time you buy into these lies. Now the part you've been waiting for, the secret to shielding your brain from this dark fate. The good news: you've got more power than you think. Let's start with cognitive reserve. Think of it as a mental fortress you build over your lifetime. The more you challenge your brain, learning a language, playing an instrument, tackling puzzles, the higher you raise the walls against dementia. Studies show that people with strong cognitive reserve can have Alzheimer's plaques in their brains and still live totally normal lives because their brains find detours to keep working. It's like having a backup road when the main one's shut down. And that's not all. Moving your body is just as crucial as moving your mind. Walking 30 minutes a day, climbing stairs, dancing. It keeps your blood vessels strong, and the blood pumping to your brain, warding off inflammation and breakdown. Sleep's another unsung hero. While you're snoozing, your brain flips on cleanup mode, flushing out toxins like beta amyloid, the poison that fuels Alzheimer's. Had a bad week of sleep? Congrats, you just clogged your brain's plumbing with toxic junk. And there's more. Take care of your heart to save your mind. High blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, all that stuff your doctor nags you about is the key to not speeding up dementia. Cut the stress, meditation, yoga, even a hot bath, because high cortisol is a neuron killer. And please don't drown yourself in booze thinking it's relaxing. Moderation's the name of the game. Want to beat dementia? Start today. Grab a book, take a walk, get 8 hours of sleep. It's simple, but it's powerful, and I promise you'll feel your brain thanking you. One final warning before we wrap up. If you've got kids or know someone who loves contact sports, football, rugby, hockey, pay attention. Every hit to the head is like a punch to their brain's future. CTE, which I mentioned earlier, is an athlete's nightmare. Just look at cases like Junior Seau, an NFL star who took his own life at 43 because his brain turned into a war zone after years of collisions. I'm not saying ban everything, but think about it. Does your kid really need to play that right now, or could they shine in something non-contact like swimming or tennis? If they're set on it, delay the full contact. Stuff as long as possible. A strong neck and a mature body can handle impacts better. And for God's sake, demand coaches who know the risks of concussions and teach safe techniques. Education's the weapon here, for players, parents, and coaches. A surprise blow to the head is 1,000 times worse than one you're braced for, so prep the body and mind to take it. Your kid wants to be a champ. Awesome, but they deserve to be a champ who can still remember their own name at 50. Your brain is what makes you you. Your laughs, your dreams, your memories with the people you love. Are you going to let it rot in dementia's hands, or are you going to fight to keep it sharp and alive? Let's recap. Dementia is your brain. Giving up. Alzheimer's is the #1 villain. Inflammation and weak blood vessels are the silent killers. Myths trick you, and prevention, cognitive reserve, exercise, sleep, health, is your shield. I've handed you the tools to escape this grim fate, but you've got to use them. So do yourself a favor. Subscribe to this channel right now so you don't miss more tips like these. Share this video with the people you care about, your parents, your friends, your kids, and start changing today before dementia's clock catches up to you. Dementia doesn't wait, it doesn't forgive, it doesn't warn. So what about you? Are you going to wait? Get up, fight for your brain, and live the life you deserve, with every memory still intact. See you next time.